There is a unique and chilling silence that follows their words. A silence where you can hear the echo of your own soul being misunderstood, a place where your most sacred truths are turned into weapons and aimed squarely back at your heart. Have you felt it? That profound sense of psychic danger when you realize the person you've opened your heart to is not a safe harbor, but a strategist, meticulously cataloging your every vulnerability for a future war you didn't even know was being planned. You share a dream, and they see a weak spot. You reveal a fear, and they see a lever. You offer your trust, and they see an open gate to the most fragile parts of your being. This isn't a breakdown in communication. It is a fundamental difference in processing reality. You speak the language of connection. They hear only the language of advantage. Imagine, for a moment, that your inner world, your hopes, your fears, your plans, your past, is a sacred, sovereign territory, a landscape of quiet gardens and fortified castles. But in a relationship with a narcissist, you are slowly convinced to hand over the keys to this kingdom, one by one. You give them the key to the garden of your joys, the key to the armory of your strengths, and most devastatingly, the key to the vault where you keep your deepest insecurities. You do this out of love, out of a belief in shared intimacy. But for them, this isn't intimacy. It's acquisition. They become the warden of your own soul, and you find yourself living in a gilded cage of their design, a labyrinth of mirrors where every reflection you see is a distorted version of yourself, crafted by their narrative. You see yourself as too sensitive, too demanding, too broken, because that is the only reflection they allow you to see. For the next 25 minutes, we are not just going to talk about this. We are going to begin the sacred work of reclaiming your territory. This is not a video to be passively consumed while scrolling through your day. This is an active reclamation. A journey back to the center of your own labyrinth to find not a monster, but the sovereign you have forgotten. We will walk through the corridors of this mirrored prison together, and I will show you where the walls are merely illusions. If you are ready to stop handing over the keys and start changing the locks, consider this your moment of commitment. Hitting that subscribe button is more than a click. It is a pledge to yourself. A declaration that your inner world is no longer open for hostile acquisition. We will complete this journey, and we will do it together. Let us step into the labyrinth. The air here is thin, recycled. The light is artificial, cast by the unwavering, analytical gaze of the narcissist. The first and most treacherous corridor we must navigate is the corridor of escape. This is the place where even a thought of freedom is treated as an act of high treason. This is why the first and most vital sanctuary you must build within yourself is the absolute, impenetrable silence surrounding your exit plan. You must never, under any circumstances, give them even a hint of your intention to leave. To a healthy person, the end of a relationship is a painful but natural process of separation. To a narcissist, your departure is not a separation. It is an amputation of a part of themselves they believe they own. It is a profound, narcissistic injury that triggers their most primal and dangerous survival instincts. The moment they sense you are pulling away, that you are mentally packing your bags, their entire operating system shifts from control to annihilation. They do not fear losing you. They fear losing control over you. They fear the narrative collapse that your freedom represents. If you can leave, it means they are not the center of the universe. It means they are disposable. And this existential terror will fuel a campaign against you so meticulously cruel it will be designed to break you long before you can ever walk out the door. They will create sudden financial crises, manufacture emergencies involving children or family, and entangle you in such a web of logistical and emotional chaos that the very idea of leaving feels like an impossible, Herculean task. They will love bomb you with the intensity of your first meeting, promising the change you have been begging for, their performance of remorse so convincing it could win an award. Or they will pivot to catastrophic cruelty, threatening your reputation, your safety, your very life. Their goal is not to win you back with love, but to trap you with fear. You cannot negotiate with this. You cannot reason with it. You can only escape it. And escape must be an act of complete and total silence. It is not an argument to be won. It is a war to be survived. And in this war, silence and surprise are your only allies. Now, as we walk deeper, we find ourselves in a corridor where the mirrors begin to speak. They whisper psychological terms back at you. Words like gaslighting, projection, trauma bond. This is the corridor of weaponized awareness. And it is why the second sanctuary you must protect is your journey of awakening. Never let them see you watching content about narcissistic abuse. Never let them know you are learning the language that describes their behavior. The moment a narcissist realizes you have found the vocabulary for their madness, they do not self-reflect. They learn the vocabulary too. They are masterful mimics, and they will co-opt the very language of healing to pathologize you. Suddenly, your valid reactions to their abuse are framed as your own narcissistic traits. Your attempts to set boundaries are labeled control. Your pain is called manipulation. Your clarity is delusion. I have seen this happen time and time again. They become terrifyingly proficient at this. They will study the same material you do, not for enlightenment, but for ammunition. They will go to therapy with you, not to heal the relationship, but to triangulate the therapist. A narcissist in a therapist's office, especially one not trained in personality disorders, is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They perform vulnerability with heartbreaking precision. They cry tears of manufactured regret. They nod sagely as they describe how difficult you are, how much they are trying to save the relationship from your instability. By the end of the session, the therapist is commending them for their insight, and you are left sitting in a fog of confusion, questioning your own sanity. You walk out feeling like the abuser. This is a calculated strategy. The psychologist Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, the part of ourselves we deny and repress. The narcissist has a vast, unexamined shadow, and their primary psychological defense is projection. They take all their darkness, their cruelty, their deceit, their manipulativeness, and they project it onto you. When you gain awareness, you are essentially holding up a mirror to their true self, to their shadow. They cannot bear this reflection, so they must shatter your mirror. They must convince you, the therapist, and the world that the monster you see is not them, but a reflection of you. This is why your education, your research, your dawning clarity must be a silent revolution. It must happen in the quiet corners of your own mind. Your healing is a private, sacred act. Do not invite the architect of your pain into the sanctuary of your recovery. Let's pause here. For so many, this is the most disorienting part of the labyrinth. The moment your own vocabulary of healing is used to harm you. I want you to take a moment and think. Has this happened to you? Have you tried to express a feeling using a term you learned, only to have it twisted and used as evidence of your own instability? See that moment in your mind? Feel the confusion it created. Now, I want you to place a hand over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, silently give yourself permission to trust your own perception again. Your reality is valid, even if they try to convince you it is not. The gaslighting only works if a part of you is still seeking their validation. The moment you stop looking at their distorted mirror and start trusting your own inner compass, the illusion begins to fade. That is the first step out. Many people believe that if they just find the right words, the perfect explanation, the narcissist will finally have a breakthrough. This is one of the most painful and persistent myths. It keeps you trapped in the cycle, endlessly trying to appeal to an empathy that simply does not exist. Healing from this is not about teaching them. It is about remembering you. They will not have an epiphany. The epiphany must be yours. The realization that you are trying to reason with an unreasonable force, that you are trying to solicit compassion from a being who sees it as a weakness. Your energy is a finite, precious resource. Stop pouring it into the black hole of their ego and start investing it back into the reclamation of your own soul. The labyrinth doesn't demand you fight it. It demands you stop believing in its walls. Now we move into a different wing of the labyrinth, one that smells of ambition and creation. This is the corridor of dreams, and it's why you must never show a narcissist the blueprint of your business plan, your creative project, or any great ambition that sets your soul on fire. A narcissist does not see your ambition as an inspiration. They see it as a competition. Your potential for success is a direct threat to their fragile sense of superiority. At their core, as the psychologist Erich Fromm might observe, their orientation is not productive, but exploitative. They cannot generate their own light, so they must either steal or extinguish the light of others. When you unveil your carefully constructed plan, your vision, your passion, they are not listening with support. They are studying it with the cold, calculating eye of a rival. Two things will happen. They will either engage in what is called mimetic desire, a concept explored by philosopher René Girard. They will suddenly want what you want, not because they are genuinely passionate about it, but because you are. They will shamelessly copy your idea, your branding, your strategy, and try to execute it faster and more ruthlessly than you can. They will use their superficial charm to gather resources and beat you to the finish line, leaving you heartbroken and betrayed. Or, if they cannot copy it, they will sabotage it. This sabotage is often subtle, insidious. They will sow seeds of doubt. Are you sure you're ready for that? Isn't the market too saturated? They will create constant drama and chaos in your personal life, draining you of the very energy you need to build your dream. They will belittle your progress, dismiss your milestones, and ensure you feel small and foolish forever dreaming big. They are masters of the slow puncture, deflating your confidence and enthusiasm until the project lies abandoned. They need you to fail, because your success would be a glaring testament to their own emptiness and lack of true, creative life force. Your dreams, your business plans, your life's great work, these are sacred seeds. Do not plant them in toxic soil. Nurture them in secret, in the sanctuary of your own heart, and with trusted allies who genuinely want to see you bloom. A narcissist can only destroy what they know exists. Keep your blueprints hidden, and they are powerless against the empire you are building in silence. From the world of ambition, we now enter a much quieter, more vulnerable space, the corridor of tears. This is why you must never, ever cry in front of a narcissist. To a healthy, empathetic person, tears are a signal of pain, a call for comfort, a sacred expression of vulnerability. To a narcissist, your tears are a transaction. They are data. They do not see your pain, they see their power. As you weep, they watch with a chilling detachment, a cold curiosity. Your emotional breakdown is empirical proof of their ability to affect you, to control your emotional state. It is a profound ego feed. It reassures them that you are still invested, still hooked, that they still hold the strings to your heart. The psychologist Brené Brown teaches that vulnerability is the path to connection, but she is clear that we must only be vulnerable with those who have earned the right to hear our story. Sharing your tears with a narcissist is not vulnerability. It is unilateral emotional disarmament. They are not comforting you. They are studying you. They are logging the exact words, the precise tone of voice, the specific action that pushed you over the edge. And they will store this information away, adding it to their arsenal. The next time they need to control you, to put you back in your place, to win an argument, they will pull that exact weapon from their memory and use it against you with surgical precision. They know exactly where your breaking point is because you showed it to them. Some will even seem to get a strange satisfaction from it, a faint smirk, a flicker of triumph in their eyes. This is because your pain alleviates their own profound inner emptiness, a concept related to what is often called narcissistic supply. Your strong emotions, even negative ones, make them feel real, powerful, and alive. Crying in front of them does not open their heart. It simply gives them a more accurate roadmap to breaking yours. Find other shoulders to cry on. A trusted friend, a therapist, your own pillow in the privacy of your room. Your tears are sacred water. Do not waste them on a barren soul. Let us now turn to the shimmering, often treacherous, corridor of fortune. Here, the mirrors gleam with a sickly green light. This is why you must never show a narcissist your wealth, your savings, or your financial stability out of a misguided sense of love or partnership. The moment their eyes see your bank statement, the moment they understand the true extent of your resources, something dark and primal is activated within them. It is an envy so potent, so corrosive, you can feel it as a physical force. Their energy shifts. The smile on their face does not reach their eyes. They may say congratulatory words, but their gaze feels like a curse. I've seen it, and I know many of you have felt it. It's a look that seems to penetrate your very being with ill will. And then, the strange things begin to happen. A deal that was certain to close suddenly falls through. An unexpected expense drains your account. Your car breaks down. You feel a cloud of bad luck descending upon you, and your peace of mind evaporates. Now, we can talk about this in energetic terms, as many cultures do, the concept of the evil eye, or a psychic attack. But we can also understand it through the lens of trauma and physiology, as described by experts like Bessel van der Kolk in The Body Keeps the Score. Your nervous system is an exquisitely sensitive instrument. It is designed to detect threats. When you are in the presence of someone who harbors intense, malicious envy towards you, your body knows. Your sympathetic nervous system goes into a state of hypervigilance. You are living in a low-grade, chronic state of fight or flight. This constant outpouring of stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, impairs your cognitive function, your decision-making, and your intuition. You become more prone to accidents. You miss important details. You make poor financial choices because your prefrontal cortex is being hijacked by your survival brain. It's not magic. It's a biochemical reaction to a toxic presence. Their envy poisons the environment, and your body absorbs that poison. They will also consciously or unconsciously begin to sabotage you, creating financial drains, needing loans they never repay, and subtly positioning themselves to leech off your resources. Your wealth represents security and independence, two things they cannot tolerate you having. It must be brought under their control or destroyed. Guard your financial information as fiercely as you would guard your life. It is, in many ways, one and the same. As we move deeper into the labyrinth, we notice that some mirrors don't reflect you at all. Instead, they show twisted images of your loved ones, your friends, your mentors. This is the corridor of isolation, and it illustrates why you must never reveal who protects you, who advises you, who your pillars of strength are. A narcissist's primary strategy is to divide and conquer. They know they cannot easily control you as long as you have a strong support system. They cannot maintain their distorted narrative as long as there are sane, clear voices in your life reflecting your true self back to you. So, they don't attack you directly at first, they attack your allies. The moment they identify someone you trust, a best friend, a wise family member, a therapist, that person becomes their number one target. The campaign is insidious. They will begin planting small seeds of doubt. I'm not sure Sarah really has your best interests at heart. Did you notice how she looked at you? They will twist stories, reporting back a harmless comment from your friend as a malicious slight. They will create situations designed to cause friction between you and your support system, then play the innocent mediator. They will work tirelessly to poison every well you drink from, until the only source of truth left is them. Their goal is to create an island, with you as its sole, stranded inhabitant, and them as your only connection to the world. In this isolation, you become completely dependent on them for your sense of reality. Their voice becomes the only voice in your head. Jungian psychology might call this a form of soul theft. They methodically sever your connections to the collective, to the people who hold up the mirror of your true nature, so they can replace it with their own distorted reflection. This is why your most trusted relationships must be kept under a veil. Do not discuss the details of the advice your therapist gives you. Do not tell them which friend you turn to when you are in distress. Your support system is your lifeline out of the labyrinth. Protect it. Keep it hidden from their view, because they will cut any rope you use to try and climb out. We are nearing the center of the labyrinth now. The corridors become more personal, reflecting not what you do or what you have, but who you are. We now enter the corridor of joy, a place they despise. This is why you must never tell a narcissist about your passions, your hobbies, the small, simple things that light you up from the inside. If you love to paint, they will suddenly develop a strong opinion about your amateur technique. If you find peace in your morning yoga practice, they will make a point to interrupt you every single time. If you join a book club that brings you intellectual stimulation and friendship, they will mock your choice of books or insinuate that something inappropriate is happening with the other members. Any source of joy, peace, or identity that does not revolve around them is a threat. Your independent happiness is a constant, nagging reminder of their own inability to feel genuine joy. They exist in a state of chronic emptiness, and the sight of your authentic light fills them with rage. They must either possess it or extinguish it. So they will co-opt your interests, suddenly becoming an expert in your hobby, only to critique you and compete with you until all the joy is squeezed out of it. Or they will simply diminish it, piece by piece, with sarcastic comments and dismissive sighs, until you begin to feel silly and self-conscious about the very thing that once brought you life. This is not you being too sensitive. This is a deliberate tactic to prune away any part of your life that is not dependent on them for validation. Keeping your passions private is not secrecy. It is emotional self-preservation. Your joy is your own. It is a wellspring of resilience. Guard it fiercely. Cultivate a secret garden in your soul, where you go to recharge, a place they don't even know exists. This garden will be what sustains you when you finally decide to leave the labyrinth for good. And now, we have arrived. We are at the very heart of the mirrored labyrinth. This final corridor is the quietest, the darkest, and the most dangerous. The mirrors here do not show grand plans or bank accounts. They show the cracks in your heart. This is the corridor of wounds, and it is the reason you must never, ever show a narcissist your weaknesses. Do not confide in them about your deepest fears, your childhood traumas, your most profound insecurities. To do so is to hand them the master key to your soul, the blueprint for your own destruction. When you share a vulnerability with a healthy person, it is held in a sacred trust. It is met with compassion and a desire to protect. When you share a vulnerability with a narcissist, their eyes light up with a predatory gleam. They listen with rapt attention, not to understand you, but to gather intelligence. They don't react right away. That is not their method. They will store that piece of information, your fear of abandonment, your insecurity about your intelligence, your shame about a past mistake, and they will file it away in their mental arsenal. They will wait weeks, months, even years. And then, at the moment of your greatest need, or in the middle of a heated argument when your defenses are down, they will retrieve that secret and use it against you with devastating accuracy. They will use your deepest fear to justify their cruel behavior. They will use your insecurity to crush your confidence. They will use your past shame to invalidate your present feelings. With them, your vulnerability is never a bridge to intimacy. It is always and only ammunition. They will pick at the same wound over and over again until you believe that the wound is all you are. This is the ultimate form of soul murder. This is why, with a narcissist, your silence about your inner world is not a wall. It is a sanctuary. It is not an act of distrust. It is the ultimate act of self-love and self-defense. You do not owe them access to the most sacred corners of your being. That access is earned, never demanded. And here lies the great revelation, the aha moment at the center of this twisted place. You have been walking through this labyrinth, searching for an exit, believing the walls are solid, the reflections are real. But the secret of the mirrored labyrinth is this: the walls are made of nothing more than your own attention. The entire structure is powered by your belief in their reflections. The moment you stop looking to them for your sense of self, the mirrors lose their power. The moment you stop sharing the secrets that fuel their control, the corridors begin to dissolve. The key was never about finding a way out. It was realizing you were never truly locked in. You were just convinced to stand still and stare at a distorted image of yourself for so long that you forgot you could simply turn around and walk away. Your healing is not about fighting them. It is about becoming indifferent to them. It is about turning your gaze inward, not to their reflection of you, but to the sovereign truth of who you are. The 8 sanctuaries we have discussed, your exit plan, your awakening, your dreams, your tears, your wealth, your allies, your joys, and your wounds. These are not secrets you keep out of fear. They are sacred spaces you cultivate out of love for yourself. They form the foundation of a new inner world, one that is entirely your own, one where they are not granted entry. Next time you feel that pull to share, to explain, to confess, I want you to pause, look at that impulse, and instead of giving it to them, give it to yourself. Write it in a journal. Share it with a true friend. Process it with a therapist. Turn it into art. Your life, your energy, your stories are precious. They are the building blocks of your reality. Stop giving them away to the architect of your own prison. Step out of the labyrinth now. Leave the whispering mirrors and the cold, artificial light behind you. Walk into the quiet, sunlit garden you have been cultivating in secret. Feel the warmth on your face. This is the feeling of your own sovereignty. Your work awaits. Your life awaits. And most importantly, you await yourself.